materials necessary to make wands.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the other thing, of course, is actually wands. You know,
Because in 1,000 experience time, I can start making enhanced healing wands.
That is what Major Themlock will put forward for the operation. Obviously, he's going to be pretty much, once you make your movement to there, he's going to be pretty much cut off from communication, unless, of course, you find a method around that problem when you're there. Maybe the monks might know. But be that as it may. Another thing
I guess the monks wouldn't know, because
another interesting facet that I can reveal, which will come out through the research at Sarajin, and it will be a small detail, we're talking about it very briefly. It's often been rumoured because of what happened at Desolation, and this is through the research at your church, Sarajin, that clearly if you think about sorcery as its very raw element, clearly what happened there is the purest form of magic, where you have two sides evenly matched, pitching it off against each other, not only in terms of brute force, but also magically. And because of the disaster that took place in this dust bowl ultimately forming, it's often been talked about, there's small details that are running through, that there is a chance, sorcerers, which do exist in your group, will have an opportunity, they think, by experiencing the very desolation itself. There is a new bloodline, they may be able to take it. Over a period of time, one would suspect they may get that opportunity to take this new bloodline, but it's a choice that they may have to decide to make or not.
Yeah. More and more I think about it, the more I reckon that this barrier is probably a side effect of basically the magical explosion
I've got
that forms the desolation.
Pete, say magic running wild?
What?
Would magic running wild have that sort of effect? If
Magic-
uncontrolled magic.
not sure what that is.
Yeah. No idea what it is.
So hopefully,
No, we don't know what it is.
hopefully for Dan's benefit, hopefully you're now up on base on what's actually going on.
And all the rest of it floating around.
Great. Okay, good stuff.
No, you don't.
You feel the the after effects of what's been used,
Not really.
depending on how strong it was used or how much.
That's sort of a very much kind of a campaign specific thing. Actually, I don't think it's not the way the rules work.
No, it might not be, but we are okay. Well,
Slightly out there hypothesis, but
it is.
I
Yeah,
suppose
but I'm just
it's been
thinking.
untested. The large amounts of magic
What's
you start could have all
the
got
first thing you
unforeseen
can
effects.
come across at this moment in time? I would have thought wild magic.
I have no idea what that is. Do you know what that is?
Basically, it's.
I thought that
how do I
was-
put it?
I thought that was low level neophytes.
Wild magic is low level neophytes buggering spells out.
Precipitation
Wild
wrong.
magic, in the only definition I've heard of it before, is basically spells spontaneously casting themselves.
Okay, wild magic, the way, I suppose Sean didn't actually call it that, but the closest thing I can think of is in his very, very early days, you know, there was one particular campaign whereupon he would, you know, kind of actually make certain spellcasters roll randomly, and you actually roll on the Wonder table to see what happens.
To put your fear at rest at this stage,
You're giving him ideas.
yes, it's lovely to have them, but
Well, no, this is basically this is wrong.
It's just,
Yeah.
to put your mind at
something
rest,
I've come across before.
movement, various things while you're there will work perfectly normally as far as you're aware at this point, unless you find something that they've not seen or heard from before. To be honest, you're going on very little, but
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I just remember something you said at the beginning.
yeah.
You said that the Titanic battle basically caused essentially a rip in time and space. That's probably what's causing the barrier.
Yeah.
Again, that's speculation to a certain extent. Actually, I mean, we won't know. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's not unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable.
It's a
Yeah, but
reason
it means
But then the other thing is the ripping time in space caused a giant battle.
yeah.
We don't know.
there is that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, kind of, and basically it could have been something that the Lord of Bishru, you know, kind of actually caused the rift in time and space in the first place, because he saw the great big evil army appearing, so he basically sacrificed himself to cause the rift in time and space to call the good army, or vice versa. There was a great big demon lord in the city of Tar, and we overturned the scenario. Possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
There is a very interesting hypothesis
Which
amongst some very strange wizards. It's not understandable. All events are occurring all at once. And therefore, the rift in time and space could be a curve which caused by the battle, and the battle is caused by the.
Oh! Not the psychology on the edge, you know.
Okay, what I suggest we do with the money, okay, and this is my suggestion, okay. To be honest with you, there was, you know, in 2 scenarios ago, we had 10.5 GP, you know, kind of assigned to ourselves, where we could actually choose our items.
Yeah.
So I think basically there's going to be very few people who are actually going to swap in any items because they bought whatever they needed at the time,
Sure.
specific to the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that out of the way. What I basically suggest we do is the fact that you stack up on all the spells that you think are
Likely
going
to need
to
for
be you're likely
Because
to
I've only
need.
got the ones I've
Including
needed
sort
for
of-
the relatively short period.
What I mean basically is we're thinking more medium to long term. now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've only got
And-
ones short for
Yeah,
short to
and
medium.
basically
Sort of
get
next level
yeah,
or so.
well,
sort of
next
stuff.
sort of 2 or 3 levels, if not 4, actually, I would say. You know.
Well, yeah, next
Well,
level,
next-
level
pro-
after that.
probably the next-
You do raise a very good point, because obviously while you're there you may not have
That's what I'm.
a teacher, of course,
Yeah,
unless you
good
can
to see
find.
How are you?
Oh, welcome, Winston. Welcome. It's nice to see you, mate. Well, thanks for letting us know you're going to run late. I appreciate that.
Courtesy.
We've already started to get into the obviously the background for tonight's game.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going to let the characters keep on talking. If you've got a copy of character,
Yes.
if you kindly pass that over to me, I'll have a little look at it,
Sure.
and then I'll let the guys fill you in with what's going on tonight. In fact, actually, if you could just give a quick recap. Thank you very much.
The other thing that I would suggest, and this is basically kind of just my own, I don't know what you think, Dan, is the fact that once you're finished with the money, okay, we give the rest to the cleric for the wounds. Yeah, because, I mean, if you actually think about it, you know, kind of a wound of pure moderate, basically,
I have,
costs about £5,000.
I have a different set of religions in my
But then,
game.
Cure
Okay.
likes more.
Sorry?
Cure likes more fish.
We can worry about that
Not in the
later,
middle of
not
combat.
now.
They
We
are-
won't
they
talk
are
about
in the
it
middle
now.
of
Just
combat.
stick to
I'm
what
talking
you've
about in the
got,
middle of
Okay,
combat.
but
and then we'll discuss it
Yeah,
as
but-
the game unfolds.
Yeah, so yeah, but what I'm actually thinking basically is the fact that if we've got maybe 1 or 2 for in combat,
Yeah.
and then we've got, you know, kind of half a dozen for out of
Things
combat.
gets to the point where you need cure series for
Yes,
combat.
that's exactly what I mean. Is the fact that at some point or other, it's going to need pure
The
serious,
stakes are higher.
and those are basically best part of 10.
Yeah.
So,
What's the heal?
sorry,
What's his heal?
you can't do ones of heal because you can
Because
do
you're
up to
at
4th level. Yeah, you can do staves of heal.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, but that's a different ball game
About
altogether.
50, 60 grand.
Yeah, and you
And
need craft staff anyway. Actually, you're not going to need a totally new one. Anyway,
Yeah.
but be that as it may, okay. The idea is that what I'm getting at is the fact that the 35 odd, you know,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not actually going to go that far. You know,
No.
we potentially also have a new character. Sorry, Winston, I think is going
We
to be
will
our
be-
character.
Once
Yeah.
we've gone through the background, we'll introduce the new member. One of the sorcerer people from your team has been. There is a demand in another company for somebody of his talent. He's been reassigned. We now have somebody. Yep.
The dragon.
We now have somebody called Zephyr, who is it's not a horse, who's going to be much more of a better fit for the group balance, I think. Interesting character angle, like what you've done there. It's good the route that you've actually gone down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
I'll be
that's-
interested to see how
that's
that pans
what
out.
my, that's
very
what my
interesting.
theory is. I don't know
Like
if you
it?
agree or not.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, it's like,
Cool. Well done, Winston.
Trouble is, the other option that I was basically thinking, right, was to go and get ourselves basically kind of a potion thing. The trouble is, once you start
Oh, sure.
you don't finish. Basically.
Easy if I sit on the end. It's
Basically, it's half
easier to look outside.
Yes, yeah.
oh yeah, sure, of course.
Which would actually,
can peek
would actually
behind
just
a
suit the rest
DM
of the
screen.
group.
By all means, do. It won't make much sense to you. It never does to me. So that's
The
okay.
ones are better, just the ones of healing.
To give, I'll give you a quick recap of what's going
Sure.
on while the others are discussing various tactics to allow you to join in.
What we
Because of
what
the
we were
success
actually
of Marlin,
thinking is
um,
with the 35 grand.
excuse me one minute,
situation.